na 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 na, ya na 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 na, ya na 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 na, ya na 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 na. Na 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 na, ya na 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 na, ya na 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 na, ya na na na, ya na 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 na, ya na 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 na. Ya na na na, ya na 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 na, ya na 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 na, ya na 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 na, ya na 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 na, ya na 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 na, ya na na na, ya na na na, ya na 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 na. Ya na na na, ya na 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 na, ya na 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 na, ya na na na, ya na 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 na, ya na 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 na, ya na na na, ya na 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 na, ya na 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 na. Last one all together. Ya na na na, ya na 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 na, ya na 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 na, ya na na na, ya na 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 na, ya na 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 na. Shabbat Shalom. I achieved today, in fact, what I try to achieve spiritually every week, which is to turn off my computer on Friday night with an empty inbox. Not one. I did. I'm leaving for vacation. That was my goal. I wanted to leave. So that's my goal, right? Spiritually, right? We turn off our computers on Friday and we're supposed to act as if, right? That's the goal. We act as if there's nothing in our inbox. We act as if all the boxes are empty. We act as if, right, everything that's on our to-do list is done, right? And that's a spiritual practice. It is, right? But to actually not have anything in the inbox, now that. And that, I did. We'll see how long it lasts. But anyway, Shabbat Shalom. Deborah, would you offer the reading on page 3 and light the candles for us, please? Thank you. Oh, you got one? And you know their trick.
I know how I can. You're daring me to email you, you know that. I will.
I may delete it.
It's not.
Page 3. There.
O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words which we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Good Shabbos, thank you. We've probably forgotten some names, so let's make sure that we introduce each other to one another, make a new friend, wave hello to everybody in YouTube land. L'chaim. And bring in some sweetness. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila l'mikrae kodesh, zecher litziat Mitzrayim, ki vanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim, v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. L'chaim. We welcome the angels. Shalom Aleichem on page 24. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruchuni L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Tzedchem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We're on 22, the Psalm for Shabbat. I'd like everybody to take an opportunity, scan your week, locate something good. Something little, something big, it doesn't matter, just something good. And if you have more than one thing, that's okay too. As we sing this, send that up as a prayer of thanks. It is good to sing a song. Let us sing a song for Shabbat. It is good to sing a song. Let us sing a song for Shabbat. It is good to sing your praise. It is good to sing your praise. Praise to the Holy One. Praise to the Holy One that repeats. It is good to sing your praise. Sing and praise to the Holy One. In the Hebrew, Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat, Tov lehodot l'Adonai Yetov. Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat, Uzamer Leshimcha Elyon, Lehagid Baboker Hasdecha, ואמונתך בלילות, עלי עשור ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון בכינור. It is good to sing a song. Let us sing a song for Shabbat. It is good to sing a song. Let us sing a song for Shabbat. I'm going to invite you to put your finger in 44, but turn to page 13. This is our Yismachu mashup, our joy mashup, because it should all be joy. Yismechu hashamayim, bottom paragraph on 13. Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, v'tagel haaretz again. Yismechu hashamayim, hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, v'tagel haaretz. Yiram hayam, yiram hayam, yiram hayam, umelo. Yiram hayam, yiram hayam, yiram hayam, umelo. 44. Yismechu v'malahutecha, shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malahutecha, shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. Mekadeshei, Mekadeshei Shvi Shabbat, Kular Yisbehu, V'yitangu metuvecha, Shabbat Yismechu, V'malachutecha, Shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malachutecha, Shomrei, 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 Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. V'hashvi ratzita bo v'kiddushto Shabbat. Chemdat yami אותו קראת שבת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת זכר למעשה בראשית שבת זכר למעשה בראשית שבת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת. Oh, taking that expansiveness. וקוראי עונג שבת. L'chadodi, we welcome the beloved on page 20. We're going to do verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. Ah, Joel. Yainai l'chadodi likrat kala yaranai b'nei Shabbat nekabela yainai l'chadodi likrat kala yaranai b'nei Shabbat nekabela nai shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad השמיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה from the top לך דודי לקראת כלה ירני פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה ירני פני שבת נקבלה לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה כי היא מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה סוף מעשה במחשבה תילה לך דודי לקראת כלה ירני פני שבת נקבלה נאי לך דודי לקראת כלה ירני פני שבת נקבלה fifth stanza התעוררי כי באורך קומי אורי אורי שיר דברי כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה לך דודי לקראת כלה ירני פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה ירני פני שבת נקבלה. Please rise if you're able and face the rear. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובצהלה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה לך דודי לקראת כלה ירני פני שבת נקבלה Yaranai, Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala, Yaranai, 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 Pnei Shabbat, Nekamela. Please remain standing for the Baruch Hu on page 28. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Va'ed. Please be seated. Handouts. Thanks, Deborah. Sacred words, even the evenings. Wisdom opens gates locked around our hearts. Asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, bechochma poteach she'arim. Evening, the evenings, evening the frayed edges of our lives. Ma'ariv Aravim, Amen. Understanding alters with the times, changing seasons, cycles divine. Uvid vuna mishanei itim, umachalif et hazmanim. Evening, the evenings, evening the frayed edges of our lives. Ma'ariv Aravim, Amen. Paint diamonds on the canvas called sky. Soothe our souls with a lilting lullaby. Umisaderet hakochavim, b'mishmorotehem berakia kirtzono. Evening, the evenings, evening the frayed edges of our lives. Ma'ariv Aravim, Amen. Rolling, rolling into the night, rolling, rolling away the night. Golel or mipnei hoshech, vehoshech mipnei or. Evening, the evenings, evening the frayed edges of our lives. Ma'ariv Aravim, Amen. Spirit of the night, we bless your name. Eternal light, eternal flame, El Chai v'Kayam Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Leolam Va'ed. Evening, the evenings, evening the frayed edges of our lives. Ma'ariv Aravim, Amen. We are loved, loved, loved by an unending love, an unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by an unending love, an unending love. We're embraced by arms that find us, even when we are hidden from ourselves. We are touched by fingers that soothe us, even when we're too proud for soothing. We are counseled by voices that guide us, even when we're too embittered to hear. 'Cause we are loved, loved, loved by an unending love, an unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by an unending love, an unending love. We're supported by hands that uplift us, even in the midst of a fall. We are urged on by eyes that meet us, even when we're too weak for meeting. We are loved, loved, loved by an unending love, an unending love. We are loved, 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 loved by an unending love, an unending love. Embraced, touched, soothed, and counseled. Ours are the arms, the fingers, the voices. Ours are the hands, the eyes, the smiles. 'Cause we are loved by an unending love. We are loved, 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 loved by an unending love, an unending love. We are loved, loved, loved by an unending love, an unending love. El Chai v'Kayam, Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Ata Adonai. Wrong Machtima. Al Tasir Mimenu Leolamim. Baruch Ata Adonai. Ohev Amo Yisrael. 34. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech uvshochbecha uvkumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha vehayu letotafot bein einecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai Vitem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem Emet, emet ve'emunah kol zot. All this we hold to be true and trustworthy for us, that you alone are our God, and we are your people, Israel. We accepted your sovereignty along with Moses and Miriam and all Israel as we sang to you together, lifting our voices joyously, as we do now on page 40. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, osef ele, Malchutecha ra'u vanecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe uMiriam, ze eli anu ve'amru Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed, mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, osef ele, ונאמר כי ודע אדוני את יעקב גלו מעט חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. 42. Grant, O God, that we lay down in peace and raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and peace evermore. Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, ve'hamidenu shomrei nu lechayim. Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, ve'hamidenu shomrei nu lechayim. Ushmor tzeteinu uvoenu lechayim ulshalom me'ata ve'ad olam. Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, ve'hamidenu shomrei nu lechayim. Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, ve'hamidenu shomrei nu lechayim. I'm going to share a story in honor of my mother and my grandmother, my grandmother's been dead for many years, but I'm going to see my mother, who lives far, far away. I'm flying out tomorrow to see her. Now, she was raised as a proper European young lady. She's Swiss. And she was raised by a proper British woman who was my grandmother. And in their day, when you were raising a little girl to be a proper little girl, that meant that you had to learn French. Now, I know, Scarlett, that you know French, but for me, it didn't come so easily. And my grandmother, when she heard that my French studies were not coming along as so well, she would say, but Liana, you have to learn French, because when you grow up and you go to the ball and you meet the prince and he asks you to dance, you're going to have to be able to say in French, mais oui, enchanté, mon prince. Thank you, mon prince, which is about all I remember. And then she said, and you're going to have to learn how to curtsy properly. Because she says this is what you do when you meet royalty. You have to learn how to curtsy. Well, fast forward, and I got over my fear of learning languages. I learned Hebrew, if not my French. And I started to study the liturgy. And I was taught that when we rise for the Amidah, we are to comport ourselves as if we are meeting royalty, the sovereign of sovereigns. And as such, the choreography, as you might know it, is that you take 3 steps backward. And normally, you're taught to bow before the sovereign, before taking 3 steps forward. But this is when I knew that my grandmother's teaching was going to come in handy. Because for me, I was taught that when you meet royalty as a proper young lady, you don't bow, you curtsy. So you may notice that while most people bow for the Amidah, I take my 3 steps back and I curtsy. Now, I invite you to do whichever choreography works best for you, but that story is true and in honor of my mother and my grandmother. So if you're watching, Mom, see, I paid attention. So I invite us to rise for our private conversation with the sovereign of sovereigns, our creator, the Amidah, beginning on page 46. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei Hakol V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot Umevi Gula Livnei V'neihem Leman Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai Mechaye Metim Atarav Lehoshia Morid Hatal Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed Mechaye Metim Berachamim Rabim Somech Noflim Verofei Cholim Umatir Asurim Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar Michamocha Val Givurot Umidom Elach Melech Memit Umechaye Umatzmiach Yeshua ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. I invite you to continue your Amidah prayer privately through page 60 or the text of your heart. מודים אנחנו לך שאתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו לעולם ועד צור חיינו כנשנו ודעת שלום רב על ישראל, ותשים לנו כתבה מלכתן הקדוש שלום בתוך ולברך את הקדוש ברוך לדעת אמן. ישראל בשלום. Say shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru Amen. Oh, say shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru Amen. Yam pararam pam 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 pararam pam pam. Yararam pam pararam pam. Yararam pam pararam pam pam. Yam pararam pam pam pam. Yararam pam pam. Yararam pam pararam pam. Yararam pam pararam tan. Oh, say shalom bimroma. Yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru Hallel. Pararam pam pam pam, yararam pam pam, yararam pam pararam pam, pararam pam pararam pam pam, pararam pam pam pam, pararam pam pam, pararam pam pararam pam, yararam ta tarara nai nai, pararam pam pam pam, yararam pam pam, yararam pam pararam pam, yararam pam pararam ta, pararam pam pam pam. Yararam papa, yarara da 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 da, yarara pa pa da da pa. Well, I like the reading on page 67, but it says morning, so we'll just change morning to evening. I enter this sacred space to voice the longings of my heart in prayer. In sacred company, I offer my love to the Holy One. I devote myself this evening to psalm and song, study and prayer. May my heart be lifted, may my thoughts be deepened, and may my soul, like the eagle, soar. Whenever we gather, we offer a prayer for healing, whether it's healing of body, spirit, psyche, relationship, self, soul. It's all kosher. On page 253, and we'll pause between the stanzas and call out the names of the people that we're holding in our hearts. Mi sheberach Avotenu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. We're especially thinking of Howard Simon, Glora Berkowitz, Gittel Bat Chana, Beryl Ben Sima Vishmuel Leib, Steve Gellis, Sholem Ovren Ben Golda Yeshayahu, Maxwell Zwain, Menachem Mendel Ben Yehudit Umichael, Kreindel Chaya Rafaela Ben Yehudit Sharon, Dolores Mikkel, Bob Schwartz, Richard Berg, Tzvi Ben Eliyahu Vagolda, Maurice Stearns, Moshe Ben Beryl Benjamin Villeta, Robert Walker, Roberta Lipp, Rachel Bat Penina Vemendel Ephraim, Barbara Hines, Maureen Schneebalk, Doreen Hennick, Devorah Chana Bat Leonard Vabeni, Glenn Pertz, Simcha Ben Mordechai Devorah Leah, William Hall, Sheila Gordon, Kathy Gellis, Chaya Bat Helen Vishalom, Mordechai Ben Leah Van Nussen, Mark Wilner, and Joni Nicholson. And to these names we add Mi sheberach imotenu mekor habracha avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. And also bless those who care for them as well. Shabbat Shalom. In this episode of Torah, otherwise known as the weekly Parsha, we meet Balak, the sinister king of Moab. He's been made uneasy by Israel's recent string of victories over enemy nations in their desert wanderings. He's begun to worry that he's going to be the next one to fall before them. And he decides to gain the advantage with a preemptive strike, hoping to weaken the Israelite forces before they have a chance to advance against him. His first plan of attack, though, is not military, but magical. His plan is to hire Bilam, a local prophet, to cast a curse upon Israel. And now Bilam is known as someone whose curses and blessings have serious power. So, he figures, Bilam's curse will surely doom the Israelites to defeat. And Bilam seems open to the task. King Balak sweetens the financial deal and makes him eager. So eager that even with God's self, telling him that he shouldn't do it, don't curse those Israelites, after several stops and starts, including an incident with the talking donkey, one of my favorite moments in Torah, he heads out to perform the curse. But when he opens his mouth to unleash this curse, the Spirit of God takes over, and instead of cursing Israel, he can't help himself but utter words of blessing. And notes in his blessing, as Bilam the prophet declares, Israel dwells apart, are distinctive, not reckoning themselves among the nations. There's more, I'll get to it. But I find that part particularly fascinating, dwelling apart, distinctive, and not reckoning themselves among the nation. I find it fascinating, and I find it a prescient description of the Jewish people, those who dwell apart and are distinctive, yet always somehow integrated among others. Even then, being a distinctive people set apart was not so much a prescription of something that was going to happen in the future or a premonition as much as it was a description of reality. I'm not so sure that especially modern liberal Jews think of ourselves as those who dwell apart, or that we dwell so much on our distinctiveness. It certainly was not a popular Jewish notion in the last several decades, all the way up, even now, but especially all the way up to about 8 years ago. Rather, liberal Jews, we preferred to stress the notion of Judaism's universal messages. And many of us felt quite comfortable with the notion of being part of a hyphenated Judeo-Christian society or ethic. But we have to admit that regardless of what the future holds, those decades are a historic aberration. So far, just a blip. History has told another story. Throughout the millennia, Jews have always been legally pegged as a separate nation and a separate people, up until 1789 in America and about the same time in Europe, actually, too. We were denied citizenship, equal rights, or protection in the lands in which we lived, whether Christian lands or Muslim lands or otherwise. We lived apart, and in many places had to establish separate but parallel social structures and communities within a larger national governing structure. This was our normal for almost 2,000 years. Likely being seen as a people apart didn't cause, but certainly nurtured our sense of distinctiveness. We might even say that it's in our DNA to see the world through a at least slightly different historical, cultural, and spiritual lens. No doubt about it, this is a strength. The late Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sacks, Zichrono Livracha, describes in his book Covenant and Conversation, The Curse of Loneliness, how he struggled with this definition of the Jewish people. And about this he writes, "Our people have indeed been alone in ancient and modern times. Persecutions and expulsions punctuated our lives for centuries and centuries. The Shoah, the Holocaust with its horrific acts of barbarism and inhumanity to our people, continuing to situations we could even point to today." In the Hebrew, Am levadad yishkon. To give context, a people who dwell alone. That's what that means. To give context and some examples to the occasions where we find that word badad, alone, in Torah, we hear at the very beginning that it's not good for people to live alone. And that's when God brings Eve to keep Adam company, so Adam wouldn't be alone. And we also learn that Moses' father-in-law, Yitro, told him that he shouldn't govern alone, that he should delegate authority. And that's when the elders were appointed. And in describing the life of, for lack of a better term, in Torah, a leper, we read, "He shall live apart, outside the camp shall be his dwelling, until he's able to come back." So Am levadad yishkon, a people who dwells alone. And in Rabbi Sacks's book, different book, future tense, he says, "I suddenly saw how dangerous this is. If you believe your fate is to be alone, that it certainly, most definitely will happen. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Why bother making friends and allies if you know in advance if you're going to fail?" And for this, it's instructive to look closely at the character of Bilam, this prophet who utters the curses, or tries to utter the curse but can't. This powerful prophet. Now, the classic rabbis generally look down upon this magical prophetic man, Bilam. After all, he doesn't listen to God, he's out for the money, and he really wants to curse the Israelites. But there's more to him than that. And the rabbis recognize that there's something special. Like what? First and foremost, God speaks to Bilam directly. There aren't a lot of people in Torah that have direct conversation back and forth with God. They're few and far between, generally revered and heeded. Usually, at least they get their own book. There's a clear relationship here in their back and forth. He negotiates with God. There's a back and forth, almost bringing in echoes of Abraham negotiating back and forth with God. And that doesn't happen with just anyone. And we know that the text is not referring to the little g God, or any old god, or some kind of pagan or Canaanite god that Bilam is talking to. The text is very clear that Bilam is talking to the one, capital G, God. How do we know that? There's something else. Bilam, he knows the name. You know that name, right? That mysterious, specifically Israelite, unpronounceable name of God that's spelt with the Hebrew letters Yud He Vav He. We don't even know how to pronounce it. But there it is in the text. Bilam is talking with Yud He Vav He, not Elohim, not any of the other names that we have in Torah for God, but Yud He Vav He. And there is only one other Israelite in the entire non-Israelite. There's only one other non-Israelite in the Torah who knows and uses that name, and that is Yitro, Moses' father-in-law, who's a priest of his people and universally revered by the rabbis as well as by Moses and the people in the text. And he doesn't get his own book, but he gets his own parsha. And in this text, we and several other rabbis see the seeds of ecumenism, of trust and partnership that transcends religious and cultural boundaries. That is, while there are certainly and have certainly been other nations and cultures and people who have sought our destruction and our harm, we can't say that about everyone. The text here, if you're reading between the lines, is suggesting that there are others too who understand the interconnectedness of all creation, and indeed all people, those who are in relationship to the one God. Each people, each tradition have their own prophet, whose powers all derive from the one God. And we recognize that other such faith communities do potentially exist everywhere. And rather than declaring any faith as a means of claiming superiority over other nations and the superiority of their paths to God, their faith requires them to understand that we are all in this together. Remember, the word religion itself comes from the Latin religio, which means to rebind or reconnect. The word ligament comes from its same root. To quote Micah, who is the Haftarah for this week, who is quoting God by saying, "I have told you, you human beings, what is required of you. That is to do justice, love mercy, and walk humbly with your God." In countless places in our tradition, we're reminded that our path of mitzvot is a uniquely Jewish path. For Jews, mitzvot are the rent we pay for living righteously and sacredly in this life. And while many of those mitzvot have been borrowed by other religious traditions, not all, mitzvot are still mitzvot for Jews. But even if others had not taken some of our lessons as their own, Torah and history has also taught us that we are integrated with others around whom we live, and we always have been. We've learned from others, and others have learned from us. Often, this existence has been fraught, but just as often it has yielded beauty and wisdom. And we've learned to do so by always keeping at least one eye open and our antenna attuned to both danger and a neighborly hand. And today is no different. Many of us have experienced a very difficult year, have felt alone this year, have felt the distinctiveness and the separateness of the existence of being Jewish this year. And some of us, even more than feeling alone, have been surprised to feel alone. Because I dare say we've gone decades without thinking much about how or even if we are different. We've been very comfortable in our integration. Yet Torah reminds us that we are both distinct and separate and integrated. Our destinies are intertwined. I'm not so sure this is a prescription as much a description of the truth. Ultimately, we took the words of a foreign prophet, this foreign prophet Bilam, who was hell-bent on cursing us, as a prayer that we ultimately now meditate on daily. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov mishkanotecha Yisrael. How goodly are your tents, Yaakov, your dwelling places, Israel. Blessed are they who bless you, and cursed are they who curse you. Our tents, our communities, our homes, our synagogues, they are goodly and beautiful, and we are right to support them, sustain them, and nurture them. Yet so it goes, it seems. Ultimately, though, Bilam's words turn out to be a mixed blessing. In the process of blessing the Jewish people, Bilam uttered words at the end of his passage which have come to describe the reality of our history and the circumstances of our people. How can I curse whom God has not cursed? How can I denounce whom the Lord has not denounced? As I see them from the mountaintops, gaze on them from the heights, there is a people that dwells apart, not reckoned among the nations. May we always see our distinction as a strength and a responsibility and a blessing. And may we always have our hearts open to our neighbors who seek to partner with us in the repair of our very challenged world. Shabbat Shalom. We turn now back to our handout for the prayer for the state of Israel, its security forces, and the hostages. Let's read together. May it be your will that the state of Israel be a home in which all its residents can live together with love, solidarity, peace, and friendship. May it be a place of security, serenity, and trust where the spirit of generosity and loving kindness flourishes. May hate, animosity, fear, terror, and indifference find no place in it. May all its leaders and officials be blessed with wisdom, integrity, and fairness. Guard, protect, and give courage to all who serve and defend the state of Israel. May its soldiers, civil servants, police, rescue, and security forces all return home in sound body and mind. And may we witness the safe return in body and soul of all the captives and the missing, as it is written, "For in joy you will go forth and be guided in peace. The mountains and hills will exult before you in joyous song." Bless all the residents that keep the country functioning through hard work, love, and commitment, so that we may see better days and the prophecy fulfilled, that no longer will violence be heard in your land. I will grant peace in the land, and you shall lie down untroubled by anyone. I will give the land respite from vicious beasts, and no sword shall cross your land. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. And nation shall not take up sword against nation, and they shall know of war. They shall know of war no more. And let us say, Amen. Achenu, our brothers, the whole house of Israel, our sisters, the whole house of Israel, who are in distress and captivity, who wander over the sea and land, may God have mercy on them and bring them from distress to comfort, from darkness to light, from slavery to redemption, now, swiftly, and soon.
בית ישראל, אחינו כל בית ישראל, הנתונים בצרה ובשביה, העומדים בין בים ובין ביבשה. אחינו כל בית ישראל, אחינו כל בית ישראל, הנתונים בצרה ובשביה, העומדים בין בים ובין ביבשה. המקום ירחם עליהם ויוציאם מצרה לרווחה, ומאפל לאורה ומשיבוד לגאולה, השתה בגלה ובזמן קריב. המקום ירחם עליהם ויוציאם מצרה לרווחה, ומאפל לאורה ומשיבוד לגאולה, השתה בגלה ובזמן קריב. Invite us to rise for Aleinu on page 282. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא הוא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. אנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. We can be seated. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and peace. 287. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו Turn now to page 294, the Mourner's Kaddish, and our thoughts to those who gave us life, who taught us, who held our hands and walked with us, but who no longer walk this earth. If I call the name of your loved one, I invite you to rise in your place. Henrietta Rifkin Schuchman. And if there is anyone here who is observing a yahrzeit or who is in their year of mourning, please rise and can you say their name out loud? Joel? You saying Kaddish? Okay. Same? If it's your custom to rise, you're invited to do so as well. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach cherutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru, Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach leolam ulalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shmei dekudesha b'richu leila min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May their memories be a blessing. Is this in your year? Is it a year? Somebody's dad? Your dad? Your dad? May his memory be for blessing. Please be seated. Deborah, would you like to do announcements? Thank you. They're short, but I may interrupt.
It is time to... This isn't working. I'll just shout.
It is. You just have to kind of like, as if you're like
Okay.
putting it in your mouth. It's annoying. That's
That's
part of the
very
the new AV system. That's right. We need new microphones too.
It's time to renew your membership and pledge for the coming year, which began on Monday, July 1st, which is when your Teruma pledges were due. Unless you have signed up for autopay, everyone please go online this weekend and renew your membership. Obviously, if you don't handle money on Shabbat, it can wait till Sunday. As always, your Teruma amount is voluntary. We have suggested dollar amounts, and we ask that you be both generous and realistic. And if you are on autopay, check to make sure it's really coming out, because mine wasn't, and now I'm behind, and it's a whole thing. And while you're online, register for the High Holy Days. Everyone must register, including members. We don't charge, but you must register. And while you're doing that, please consider signing up for an ushering shift to offer a warm, welcoming Shana Tova to all who are joining us. Follow the link on the homepage of our website. Religious school calendar for the 2024-25 year is now posted on our website. The food pantry stock is woefully low, making it difficult to provide healthy, easy-to-prepare food through the summer. You can find links in the weekly and on the food pantry page on our website to shop for the pantry. You can also donate funds through the website. Just check off the box for food pantry donation. Our next Tat Shabbat is tomorrow, July 20th.
Okay, hot off the presses, and leading Tat Shabbat will be our own Phil Gary.
Really?
And Ben.
And Ben.
This is not a duo to be missed.
This is like a comedy gold moment. Tomorrow.
So borrow a 0 to 5-year-old and come tomorrow morning at 10:30 and just be prepared to have a very good
On
time.
the temple lawn, weather permitting.
No, they didn't do the tree work. It's not safe. We have to be inside.
Okay, inside, weather disregard. You are now able to follow the progress of our renovation with the Follow Our Building Progress
Hot
bar.
off the presses.
Go to the front page of our website and click the link.
We-
That mess downstairs is getting less of a mess every day.
It's going to start July 29th. That's our day. They're going to start be coming in here, and just wait.
It's going to be awesome. Come to services and double your mitzvah points. There are points, guys. By just pushing a couple of buttons. Talk to Seth, raise your hand, about being part of the tech crew to ensure that our services are live streamed. Hi! Plenty of other ways to rack up those mitzvah points by volunteering a little or a lot. Just ask Phil or Rabbi at the Oneg. Well, don't ask Phil because he's not here.
You can ask Deborah.
But ask me. Great news, we now feel we have raised enough money for our social hall renovation that we are fundraising to renovate our kitchen and roof. install a handicapped accessible elevator, yay, and upgrade our AV system. If you haven't, because you can see how we need that. If you haven't yet donated or pledged, please do so. Also check if your employer makes matching donations to charitable causes. Registration and more information on all of this is on our website and our weekly. That's betheljc.org.
You're hired. Thank you. Page 322. Closing with Ein Keloheinu. Yum bum 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 ba da 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 da, and dum bum bum ba da 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 da, and da da dum bum bum ba, ya da dum ba, ya da dum bum 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 ba. Ein Keloheinu, ein Kadonenu, ein Kemalkeinu, yaradai, 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 na 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 na, yaradai, na 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 na, ein Kemoshienu, mi Keloheinu, mi Kadonenu, mi Kemalkeinu, yaradai, 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 na 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 na, yaradai, na 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 na, mi Chemoshienu, no de l'Eloheinu, no de l'Adonenu, no de l'Malkeinu, yaranai, 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 na 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 na, yaranai, na 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 na, no de l'Moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, yaranai, 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 na 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 na, yaranai, na 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 na, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, yaranai, 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 na 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 na, yaranai, na 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 na, Atahu Moshienu. Yum bum 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 ba da 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 da, yum bum 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 ba da 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 da, yum ba da dum bum bum ba, ya da dum ba, ya da dum dum bum bum bum. Ta-da! Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Hi, Shabbat Shalom. No, I'll take the whole thing. And who are you? Mark? Yes. So nice to meet you. Welcome. Ooh. And please stay for Oneg. Yadadum bum.